Alright, so basically I've got this wiring lead for a heated jacket. Our guy in the shop said that it's the easiest thing to attach to the battery. I've got the seat off and I'm about to take the covers off, but it's currently not looking like the easiest thing to do, because it would seem that while I can just see the negative battery terminal, the positive one is actually covered by some kind of plastic cover. I'm kind of videoing this so that I can look back on it if I need to put it together again, if I forget how to put it together again. But I'm going to give it a try. As Rel always says, we have the workshop there just in case I fuck it up and they can unfuck my fuckery. Alright, let's give this a try. Alright, so undo the battery cover bolts and then pop the battery cover off the little rod that's sort of held together with the rubber grommet. So it looks like there's some wiring covering what looks like the case. Now, what's that? Remove a plastic cover. Looks like there's a wee slot for that down there. So what's that? That is unclip the smaller wire. No, that's a clip, is it? It is a clip. There we go. Move that wiring out of the way. It looks like a plastic casing. So there's a clip, silver clip down the bottom. How do we do that? And it also looks like that's somehow clipped on there. Okay, yeah, there's a wee clip. It looks like it goes in a zigzag pattern on little clips on the side of this plastic casing. Let me just get that out of the way there. So that looks like that's the ABS brakes. Oh, yep. So down the bottom there's a silver clip. It appears to be holding a casing in place. Looks like there's one up here at the top. So really I'm just wanting to move it toward me. Maybe I have to remove the negative battery terminal. To disconnect the battery or remove the main fuse and prevent the siren from sounding, verify the fob is present, which it is. Set the off run switch to run. Pull the main fuse from its holder or disconnect the battery. Right, just undoing the battery terminal bolt. It's a hex bolt with a Phillips head. There we go. Okay, disconnected the battery. Okay, so the case, there is movement here. I think I can see it. Now it's like a clip, almost had it. Yep, awesome. I got it. Right, so I've got to remember, so that part there clips into the clip first, then there's that clip up the top and that clip down the bottom. Alright, so I can see the positive terminal. This looks like it's got its own fuse. Yes, it has. So what I obviously want to do is put this in to the guts of the bike without it affecting anything too much. Have it so that it will come out on this side of the bike over here. The reason I want it on that side is to keep it away from the muffler. So I really have to work out how it's going to sit in there, away from things like the monoshock. So let's get around the other side. Yeah, so obviously I want to keep it away from any moving parts. I'm just taking the other battery cover off. I think there's two rubber grommets. There is, yeah. Just trying to find a spot down under the frame. Yeah, maybe there. So it goes under the frame, and then it goes under a support, which will keep it away from the monoshock. Really want to try and keep it away from the engine, because if that's kind of hanging loose out here, it could just sit against the engine, which we don't want. So what we're going to do, we'll leave this end for now, and I'll attach positive and the negative. I see, so that's actually stuck in the monoshock, which is not what we want. So I have to carefully remove the positive terminal. Positive terminal. Can we get that back in without too much issue? Yeah, it looks like we can. Right, before I do that up, I'm just going to try and make sure those wires are in a fairly decent spot. Tighten that up, tighten the positive terminal back up. I need to slide this case on without squashing anything. So we need to clip that back on, which is done. Okay, we need to clip this one back on at the top, which is done. How was that done? It's a bloody miracle. Alright, so I've clipped it all back on. The next step is to put the negative terminal back on. Ooh, it's a wee feisty one, isn't it? Tighten up the negative terminal with this cable's fuse box and wires relatively out of the way of anything that could do it any harm. Right, so what I'm going to do before I put it back together is go and get the jacket and test it out, see if it's working. So I've got the garment, just going to unzip the little lead attachment, the lead on the battery, turn the engine on. Oh, look at that. This is mobile warming jacket, by the way. Hold that down for 3 seconds and the light has come on, scrolling through its various heat settings. So there is power to the jacket. So I think I've done something right. So obviously I'll still need to road test it, take it out on the road and actually check that it is heating properly, but it's clear that there's power going to the garment. Let's see here. Should be okay. Stand up again, just see where that. I do just want to try and get as much length as I can. It's all a bit trial and error, really. I'm trying to use my common sense every step of the way, just to make sure that, one, I've got enough length. Say for instance, if I stand up. Right, battery cover back on. I'm just going to see about a cable tie for cable tying this up here. Put that cable tie there, cut that off. Need to reattach. Right, reattach that. Put this back in. I don't remember how I did it. That's how I did it. Right, so ABS done. Right, just have one more look. So that wiring lead, its little fuse compartment, the wires, everything, they look like they're fairly well away from anything that's going to do it damage. Reasonably well placed and tidied up. Once I put the covers back on, it looks like they are going to be fairly safe and secure. Now, obviously got to put that little cover back on. There's a little slot down there for it. Back on with the battery cover. Press that grommet on, get those bolts part way in. Alright, so I've done that wrong because that little plastic cover that covered the wires at the bottom, there's a little lip that should go under that battery compartment and I see it sticking out, so there we go, that's much better. So the seat's back on and I've tested it out, I've sat on it. This wire is out of the way of my legs, enough length there to reach the jacket, the hem of the jacket, which is where the plug is. So there we go. As I say, I've still got to road test it, make sure the jacket's all functioning well. And I guess not every install, especially from novices like myself, is some polished step-by-step process, but I hope that I've been able to help somebody out there at the very least, even giving you the confidence to give it a try like I did. When I saw that it wasn't quite as easy a process as I thought it might have been, I did ponder whether I take it to the workshop and get them to do it, but I did have a serious think about it and decided to give it a crack myself because I really have to get to know my motorcycle. Let's hope I put it back together right. All the best.